Lebohang Mahalane is in the insurance business and has started an initiative that empowers young people to create wealth. Her company, Envi Africa Life, also seeks to create generational wealth and alleviate poverty in low to middle income households in different communities. She joins us this afternoon to discuss this further and really just helping people fight poverty and how that can be done in the current economic climate. So you started an initiative, Lebohang, and thank you for joining us, that empowers South Africans across all ages, calling it Envi Africa. Tell us a little bit about this.
Good afternoon, and to you and to your viewers, and thank you for having me. So basically, Envi Africa Life is a microinsurance licensed company that seeks to provide an alternative to the financially excluded low to middle income segments of South Africa. South Africa's insurance sector is a 3.1 trillion rand industry, the largest on the African continent, and is also ranked among the largest insurance markets in the world. Yet the vast majority of people in the low to middle income earning households still sit outside of mainstream financial services. And there are many contributory factors to this, key of which are the low level of financial literacy, as well as lack of appropriate insurance solutions that are also affordable. And Envi Africa was founded with an objective to contribute to the financial inclusion of these segments through the provision of access products and services that are both relatable, relevant, and affordable.
And how do we do this?
And that's pretty much why.
And how do we start to create that generational help? My apologies for coming in there, but I suppose the question there is really just how is this done? How do we tap into that over 3 trillion rand market within the insurance space?
Specifically for this market, what we need to do is to start thinking differently about what we call high-risk segments of the population. It is about trying to look at them from a different lens that says, how can we create innovative products that are accessible but also affordable for these markets so that we bring them into mainstream insurance sector. And really this speaks to the fundamental of how we then begin to underwrite them. And Envi Africa sits squarely in the space that says every risk can be priced. You just need to understand the risk and be able to come up with innovative ways of creating products for these markets so that we at the very least begin to alleviate the cycle of poverty that is usually carrying on from generation to generation because of the lack of access and also because of the lack of financial literacy. And so there's that social responsibility role that us as insurance companies would need to contribute.
Yeah, and that is an important component you bring up there because you are targeting low to middle income households. So access and financial education are going to be extremely important in this regard. How do you even begin to make that happen?
Like I said, one, find innovative ways of creating products that that market, because there's two things here. Besides access and affordability, there's also, are those products relevant and are they relatable to those markets? And bearing in mind that the context is a product that is insurance, and insurance is a grudge purchase, as we all know, right? And so to make sure that out of the many insurance products that are available in the market, they also have some sort of solutions from an insurance perspective that can begin to help them get into mainstream insurance so that products like life cover, like dread disease, disability become available to them as well, and that they alleviate the financial burden on their loved ones, whether while they're still alive and once they've passed on. Because the last thing that you want is to only plan for the today and the now. You also want to think about the future. So what happens once I've passed on? Should generational wealth become a preserve of the few? Of course not. And so microinsurance and Envi Africa specifically plays in the space that says that should not be the case. It has to be a conversation that is held in living rooms across families in South Africa, whether low income or high income. And therefore, these products that are what you call access products that Envi provides, which is your funeral and life cover products, which also provides your estate planning solutions, is exactly what we need to begin to be making available to these markets.
And then just finally, you are a 100% black-owned female micro-insurance company. Why was that important and how difficult has it been? Because traditionally, insurance has been dominated by older and different demographics within the country.
That is absolutely correct. So two things to your question. One is why was it important to me? It is my assertion and belief that at ownership level, women, and more specifically Black women, will begin to contribute meaningfully to the transformation agenda, and more specifically the inclusion agenda in the insurance sector. This because of the intersectional nature in which women experience oppression and barriers. And for them, these experiences extend beyond race and gender. As a result, they bring to the boardroom tables empathy, resilience, and other skills that you need in the boardroom that will then impact the important decision-making processes. And those processes are around specifically things like the underwriting philosophies and product development ideation processes. So their meaningful contribution can only be felt at ownership level. That's the one thing. Secondly, the challenges had been that, people understanding what we stand for as Envi Africa and the things we are trying to do for the market.
Yes.
And getting partners that understands that vision to be able to co-create with us the solutions that we are targeting for these segments.
Thank you very much, Lebohang, for those interesting insights, and we wish you the very best of luck as you try and clear out poverty in the country. That is Lebohang Mahalane, who is the founder and executive director of Envi Africa Life.